LeBron James all the way in.
And here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that. Certainly the length altered that shot. Out of the window, steps and crunches.
Play right there. Porzingis from Jennings, throw down and a foul.
Irving, splits the defense with the dribble.
All right, Bernie, let's move into another topic. So this is the point of the year where people start to see like bad teams, issues and holes in teams. So we start to talk about possible trades. All right?
Trade rumor alert.
I love trades. I mean, who doesn't? Who that plays like sports video games and watches the sports that they play the video games of doesn't like trades the most? Yeah. Trades are so fun. I mean, that was I just sound like a dad right there. That's funny. So I just want to talk about some possible trade destinations for some big players.
Okay.
The Cavaliers, I think, are going to be a trading team. I think they're going to try and get rid of some pieces that they're seeing aren't fitting. And I also think they're going to try and fill some holes that need filling, so to say. I'm going to throw out a big trade that could happen. All right.
Okay, what you got?
I think they're going to trade. I think this is going to be rumored. All right, at least maybe not going to happen because it is kind of a crazy one to take place. I think they're going to be in the market for Boogie Cousins. All right.
Boogie Cousins. Okay.
I think the Pelicans, if they're smart, they should trade him. That's my opinion. Because I don't think I don't think he's going to stay there. I think he likes New Orleans, but I really don't think he's going to stay there. I think Boogie's going to try and be on a major team. And when it comes down to it, like wherever he goes is going to be a superstar, like conglomeration type team, like the Thunder, the Heat, the Cavaliers right now. He wants to be on one of those teams, in my opinion, the super team.
Okay.
So let's say he does go to Cleveland. LeBron's staying for sure. He stays in Cleveland, guaranteed. Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, and the Brooklyn pick for Boogie Cousins. What are we thinking? I think there's a good chance that happens. Because Kevin Love is obviously declining.
Okay.
Tristan Thompson, he's not worth his contract, but he still has value in the league. And that Brooklyn pick it's people are kind of going through this weird thing where they're like, oh, it's probably not going to be as good as they thought it was going to be. I think it's going to be a pretty good pick. Brooklyn is not looking super hot right now, especially because they're not going to have D'Angelo Russell for a couple months. I think there's a good chance that trade happens because I really do think Boogie Cousins, they're gonna move him, and the Cleveland Cavaliers would be a very great destination for him. Because imagine that squad, just at least for this year. Boogie Cousins, LeBron James, Isaiah Thomas. Those are your main three.
Right.
That squad that's stacked.
Yeah. I would say so, but I would say like that's a good trade, but I don't think that the Pelicans would take Kevin Love himself.
Okay.
Only because like if you do take Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson and you trade Boogie Cousins, you're over the cap. You're over that luxury cap.
Yeah, they would have to like offset it by getting rid of somebody. Here, hold on. You keep talking. Let me look at
So like the only person that you could logistically get rid of that I'm looking here is maybe like a Iman Shumpert.
Shumpert, yeah.
He's making $10 million, but even then that's not bad. I would maybe like a Channing Frye.
What's his contract at?
His contract's $7 million, but you got to get rid of someone on the Pelicans first. So you got to find like whatever. I mean, like you could get maybe Omar Sheik. You could try and get rid of him.
Okay.
Because it would kind of offset it maybe. Oh no, you need $3 more million. I mean, this is just NBA trade machine, so it's like
we're looking at the trade machine.
But I do think I agree with you that it would be a nice trade, especially the Brooklyn pick, knowing that the Pelicans might have to restart again.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis aren't really working out as a duo. Even though, they're 11-9, they have a winning record, they should be able to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just don't see that team being very viable and successful without a 3-point shooter on that team, and there's no way to get a 3-point shooter for them.
Yeah.
And so it'd be impossible to do that. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not the Pelicans maybe pulled the trigger or not on trading either Anthony Davis or Boogie Cousins.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't keep them both if you want to add another superstar player, in my opinion. So, I mean, are we just going to go back into another rebuild year for the Pelicans? Is that what we're kind of assuming here?
Let's say they did figure out a way to get Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson, right? You're adding two guys who essentially they don't really fit your mold because you already have Anthony Davis and obviously he's your main dude. But you put Anthony Davis on the team with Tristan Thompson. Kevin Love could, I guess he doesn't really fit too much. But as far as value in return, he's your best shout from the Cavaliers to get Boogie Cousins. I guess probably the Brooklyn pick would be the best value.
Yeah, so you'd have to trade like Thompson or Love and the pick, and you might be able to do it, but it'd be very hard.
I don't know, man. I think that's an interesting trade to look out for. Look out for the Boogie Cousins possibility.
Yeah, I do think Boogie Cousins will get traded. I do have a feeling that he will. It just depends on where he goes and how the owners feel about it because, owners ultimately have the power to trade you wherever they want, especially if you don't have a no-trade clause.
Yeah.
And so, we saw the instance with Paul George. Wanted to go to the CAVS, I believe, or Boston. Ends up going to Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
It's how petty these owners are will determine where you go and, like, how you treat the owners. They'll treat you the same way back. It's a little bit screwed up, in my opinion, but that's just the way the market is because these owners don't want to lose on these players because they are, even though it is their people, it is in a business.
Yeah. And
so you have to invest, and you want to make sure that whatever you sell off, you make sure what you get in return is something you can invest in and build for the future.
Agreed.
So, Boogie Cousins would be a good shout.
I think I think Boogie Cousins is Jesus. My brain just lost itself. I think Boogie Cousins is going to be the best player that gets traded. Obviously, he's like a top 10 player in the league, maybe top 15 in some people's estimations. He's going to be the best player, and I think he's going to get traded. The other team I would just look out for him to possibly go to, and this is a pretty likely one, I think is the Lakers.
The Lakers?
Yeah. I really do think so. Because they have a lot of people. They have a lot of cap space because they have so many young players. They get rid of, Julius Randle would be a good person that's already on the trade block, kind of, as far as a lot of people are concerned. Him along with some other stuff. Maybe their first-round pick coming up. Look at that one, too. That could happen. In my opinion. I'm not an insider, though. I'm no Woj.
Woj.
I'm no Woj.
Or Sham.
I'm just a guy. I'm just giving you my thoughts.
Yeah, I think another guy that could be traded possibly is Kenneth Faried.
Yeah.
He's a dude, obviously not to the caliber and quality of Boogie Cousins and some of the other guys we're talking about, but I think a solid role to six-man bench player that could easily play 15, 20 minutes, get you 12 points, 5 boards, and like 6 assists. No, not 6 assists. Maybe like 4 assists and like 6 or 7 boards.
Yeah.
Just a solid bench six-man player that could, on any championship team, could be maybe a key component to a key run in the game. So, like, for the instance, if he goes to, like, the CAVS, maybe he could be able to give them kind of like a little break so LeBron doesn't have to be out there so long. Or even, I'm trying to think what other team maybe would contend. Maybe, no, it wouldn't be a good fit. It's just kind of hard because his game is a little bit different than some of the other games. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not like an exceptional driver.
Yeah.
I would say he's pretty decent. I wouldn't say he's like anything special. It's just like what are people willing to trade for these guys is what's going to be the ultimate factor for some of these people that are on the trade rumors, like the DeAndre Jordans, Kenneth Faried, Wilson Chandlers, those guys. Like where are those guys going to go, and what price is it going to cost for those guys to go?
Yeah, definitely.
You still trying to figure out this trade?
I was just looking at it. I was looking at the DeMarcus Cousins thing still. Another person I think we're gonna see traded. Let me just go to the Knicks, all right? Because I got to talk about my team for a second. I think Kyle O'Quinn is probably going to be on the block.
Okay.
But I want to see Courtney Lee get traded.
Really?
His contract is it's
pretty bad.
It's bad. I just want to see like if they can get something of value in return for him. And it kind of depends on how the season's going. Like if they're playing really good, like honestly, if they keep up the pace they're at right now, that would be considered really good. Obviously, a lot of people thought this was going to be a bust year or a tanking year for the Knicks. It's not. And Courtney Lee, honestly, is a big part of that. He's playing pretty well. He keeps putting up his pretty decent stat line. I think he's up at like 18 points. But I want to see him go. Honestly, his contract in the long term for a rebuilding team like the Knicks that are almost back to being good, he's not your person that you want to be your starting shooting guard.
Yeah, obviously not starting.
Him and Kyle O'Quinn. I like Kyle O'Quinn a lot as a Knicks fan, but he has a lot of holes in his game. He's got some issues. I think he's the most likely to go for sure. But Courtney Lee is the guy I want to see go.
Yeah, I mean Courtney Lee, good player. I mean he still has 2 or 3 more years left on that contract. He's a free agent in 2020, so I mean look at this, man. 11, 12. I mean he's making 12 mil for a dude that I don't know. I mean he's a solid. He's not as good as he once was. Like back then, I can't remember what team he was playing for, but obviously a little bit better. But the Knicks, they had that tendency back then. Hopefully they don't do it now of signing players to ridiculously big contracts.
Looking at you, Joakim Noah.
And James Dolan.
And Dolan. Dolan, it's his fault for sure.
But, I mean, obviously he would be a very lucrative trade offer for the Knicks to like a team, especially maybe in a year or two, once that contract's about to expire. Maybe some team.
They could probably offload him to some team that like is decent enough to make the playoffs that don't have a shooting guard. There's teams like that, so there's a chance that they could get rid of him. It's just like what we get in return would be nice. Like if we could offset. Get rid of Courtney Lee and Kyle O'Quinn, or even use Courtney Lee along with one of the pieces that aren't necessarily getting used, like Hernan Gomez. Like he's got some trade value. The two of them, and then you replace him with a decent shooting guard that's not 33 or 32 years old with an $11 million contract. The Knicks they're sitting pretty in the future. They could be in the race for one of those big free agents coming up. Because now they're becoming a destination again. Thank God. Let's go to the big one you wanted to talk about. There's a big player on the trade block from the Los Angeles County region.
Oh, DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan. All right. I mean, I think we watched a couple videos on it. DeAndre Jordan, obviously, people, I think, are trying to get rid of him. He's just not really worth the money that you get out of him since Chris Paul left, because Chris Paul basically made all of his points for him with those lobs, and because obviously DeAndre Jordan's not skilled offensively in terms of he doesn't have a post game, he doesn't have a jump shot, so it's very hard to use him in the offense. And since you don't have a point guard like Chris Paul to get the ball where only DeAndre Jordan knows where to get it, it's very hard to have DeAndre Jordan be usable in anything for the Clippers right now.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where he fits. I don't know if he will get traded because his contract is going to be big. He wants more money, $35 million, I believe. So it's going to be one of those things where it's like, where does he go?
Yeah.
Will a team be I wouldn't say foolish, but like, would a team be willing or ballsy enough to want to pay $35 million for DeAndre Jordan, who is not, all you're getting out of him really is defense.
Yeah.
And nothing else. I just don't see a team.
I don't see it happening either.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a team right now. I mean, I'm looking at every team. I just don't see a fit anywhere.
Like I made the joke earlier, the only team, and they're not capable of doing it right now, that would be dumb enough to do it is the New York Knicks. James Dolan is the only idiot that would see a player like DeAndre Jordan with that contract and think it was a good deal.
Yeah.
And it's for the mere fact that he can dunk the ball. Not worth it. But the Knicks, that's something they would have done in the past. I don't think they're going to do it this year because they just can't.
Yeah, I really don't see it. I mean, Dallas was willing to pay for it, so maybe Dallas, but I don't know what Dallas would be willing to give up now. Mm-hmm. Now that they're fully in rebuild, they're not going to give up Dirk Nowitzki. He's a loyal guy. He won't go. That's just, I don't see anyone on Dallas that you could possibly trade for that would even try to equivalent that. I mean, the only people that you could do is Wesley Matthews, Harrison Barnes, and even then, I think those guys are a lot better than DeAndre Jordan in terms of ability, in terms of in terms of versatility with those two guys, compared to DeAndre Jordan, who's like a dunk and defense.
Yeah.
Which that type of center is becoming extinct. It is no longer a viable threat in the NBA unless you have a big man associated with him that I'm confident in. And I know it's going to sound like I'm hating again, but Blake Griffin is not that dude for me.
No.
So when you don't have that and you don't have a point guard that can get him the ball in easy scoring opportunities, then it's kind of just nothing really. Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't think they're getting rid of him. I don't think it's possible. What else do we want to go into? Is there any other players that you want to discuss possibly making a move anywhere?
I don't think there's anyone really that is going to be making a big move per se. I mean, the only ones really I think that could be that are superstars is Boogie Cousins. That's like the only one.
Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Jordan in a past life was kind of in that realm of superstar just because of the team he was on. Mm-hmm. But really, I don't think any of these guys have. I don't think any of them are superstars that are going to be traded. That offseason was just so crazy that, the
moves were already made.
The moves were made that you could have seen this year. But who knows? There could be something crazy that comes up. I do really want to see that Boogie to the CAVS trade because that would be incredible.